All right, everybody, welcome back to Market Pros. And here we have Bitcoin on the 15-minute. As you see, it's been like a dead heartbeat. Um, just going sideways, not much opportunity. I mean, we've been in a 907, we'll say 907 to 952, about a $50 range. About a $50 range for since Friday, so basically all weekend. Yeah, it's been pretty damn boring. But now it looks like we're starting to get a little bit of volatility. We did have, a nice little move up, got directly sold into, came back down, back down to the bottom of the range. Another nice move up now. Um, Now, is this a retest of the top of the range and a resumption up? If we can get back above this 16,975 on a closure, I think that's what it could be. But ultimately, I would need us to see get us back above the honestly 17K. If we can get back above 17K, then I think this range has been I think this range has finished. Um, and yeah, so we're gonna go over the targets, but first I want to talk about current market dynamics. So your RSI, you know, basically just reset. I mean, you were bouncing back and forth from the bullish to the bearish control zone, just back and forth. And now it seems like you did go to the bullish control zone this time, but this time you turned around before you got even down to the neutral median line. You turned around and now you're trying to get back above that signal line. So if you can get back into the bullish control zone and get back above this last high, that's going to go more into the case of you breaking 17K. MACD, come on, trading view, curling over, but we could just come down and retest that still. Your positive momentum is waning quite a bit. We'll say that. So if you do get that cross to the downside, I would expect you to enter back into that range, and then go to the bottom of the range, to be honest. So yeah, I mean, you could have got the retest. That looks like a retest right there, and as long as you get back above, first things first, 975, but ultimately I would like to see 17K. If that happens, then that validates that retest, and then we'll probably resume to the upside and work our way up to 18K. Now, your BBWP is still curling over. So if it crosses its moving average once again, we could just continue to consolidate here even more. I mean, maybe even grind out the top of the range. Now, like I've said before, you got to be careful when these things break to one side after you've been in a range for a while and then fall back into the range. So if this thing does it again and breaks these moving averages at 16,930, we could see a break of the bottom of the range. I don't know, it's just kind of faking you out back and forth right now. But now if we would, once again, if we would break out of the bottom of the range and enter back into the top of the range, or back into the range, I do think we would break out the top at that point. But we'd need some follow through. Either way, we need follow through. According to me, not much has changed. We still need follow through. Period. So let's go to the 1 hour. Your 1 hour BBWP did leave that 10 percentile pretty quickly too. Your moving average has positive slope, so I like that. So yeah, I mean, basically we're just seeing if we can make, let's see, did we make a higher low? We did make a higher low. So if we can make a higher high, then we will be operating on higher highs and higher lows. Because if we get back above 16,966, this will not be a high just yet. Not just yet. MACD, finding some support on that zero line. Negative momentum kept decreasing this whole way through. I mean, your positive momentum was decreasing, but you had these spikes. So right now, your positive momentum is really not shit to talk about. So I mean, you really need to see some. I mean, we have no momentum on that move. No momentum on that move right there. So we'll find out what that means soon enough. RSI, neutral median zone. upper neutral median zone above your signal line, but you're still in the upper neutral, or you're still in the neutral median zone. So like I said, not much has changed yet. Not much has changed yet, but we are going to go over the bullish and bearish cases. Here on the 15 minute, I mean, still, basically going sideways. You had that spike, you had another little spike, just some a little volatility to liquidate people, that have their stop losses on both sides of the range. I wouldn't be surprised if we had something down to there as well. But we'll find out, because if that is the retest and we do get the resumption, then we're not going to see the bottom of the range. All right, so BBWP on the 15 minute is falling once again below your moving average. Like I said, we could still grind out the top of this range a bit, on top of the range, on top of the previous range. MACD found, basically reset up against that zero line. Positive momentum is waning once again. If you cross that signal line to the downside, like I said, could just come back down to the bottom of the range. And these were just to liquidate people that, planned on going short here, So honestly, I mean, it would not surprise me if we still break to the downside, because you got these traps here. If you do enter back into the range and cross these moving average to the downside, it's not going to look too good. I mean, we did have a nice little retest. We had some fan out here, which we haven't seen during this whole time, but we still need follow through. We still need follow through. We still need that momentum to pick up. I mean, your positive momentum has waned all the way to the zero, basically all the way to the zero line through this move down. All right, so bullish case. Bullish case is that you break 17K and get some follow through on at least a 15-minute closure. I would like to see a 1 hour. Honestly, I'd really like to see a 1 hour, but a 15-minute would start to get you there. All right. Now, if you get rejected from there again, and just crack back down, then we're probably going to see 16.8, something like that. We're going to go into that here in a second, because that is the lower target. If you do, if you do break 17K on a 1 hour closure, 18K is next. Probably get some sort of resistance, around 17.5, something like that. Let's actually find out when our first point of resistance will be. Let's see here. So you're going to have resistance at 17,150. Probably some more resistance at 17,300. And then more resistance at 17,500, like I was saying. Yep. And then the next stop is 18K. But ultimately, I think we would get back around 18K. We could get rejected from there, though. And that would just be one big, bear market rally. So, bearish case. First of all, you break the moving averages at 16,930. Second of all, you break the bottom of the range, 16,900. 16,907 to be exact, or, region. Then your next stop would be 16,800. If you break 16,800, the next stop is 16,675, but ultimately I don't think it would stop there. 16,800 is kind of the line in the sand right now for me. So if we break that, I think we'd get a nice little bounce at 16,675, but I really don't think that would hold. So if we, watch 16,800, if we do make our way down there, we're having these little outbursts right here at the top of this range. It just, I don't know, it seems weird that we haven't had any follow through yet. But this could just be some weak, just a weak breakout. Maybe it'll pick up once we break 17K, if we do. And then we'll come back to it. Let's quickly go over Ethereum and Solana and see if anything's different. Ethereum's the same. We're not even going to go over Ethereum today. Solana has broken out of the regression. All right, so that does look good. Solana actually looks a little different. 15-minute RSI is coming down to the neutral median line, below your signal line right now. So could have more of a pullback, possibly down to the 50 at 1363. 15-minute MACD. Yeah, curling out on the downside. You're probably going to get some sort of a cross here. Your positive momentum's waned all the way to the zero line. So, like I said, you could come down to the 50 right here. Maybe have some little fake out cross like you did right here. I mean, last time these were just pullbacks. You know what I mean? BBWP is starting to get into that lower zone, below its moving average. So maybe we come to the 50 and consolidate here a little bit. Now, the only thing is that we did make a lower high. So, bearish case is that we make a lower low. If we do make a lower low, this is gonna start looking like, let's see here. Do we have, this could be, this could be a head and shoulders. But we'll find out. If we break this last low, I mean, either way, if you break the last low, you're operating on lower lows and lower highs. This could be a head and shoulders, but honestly, no, it's not, because the right shoulder is bigger than the left shoulder. So no, it's not. That's not. Shouldn't even have said that. So 349 to the downside, basically breaking your 100. If that happens, I would expect to bounce at the 200 at about 1337. But ultimately, I think we would come back down to here, to our regression line. Now, whether that's just a retest, because we never really got the retest. So are we just going to get a retest? This is on the 15 minutes. So like on the 1 hour or on the 4 hour, this doesn't look like much. We could come down and retest this 21 in the top of the regression, and then just pop right back off. But we're going to find out, because a lot of that's going to depend on what Bitcoin does as well. So basically, let's see here. Yeah, bullish case. Bullish case is that you break this last high. Honestly, I'd like to see you get back above 14.18 in this last high. If that happens, $15 is the next stop. Okay, $15 would be the next stop, and then we'll come back to it. Let me see here. Your 1 hour MACD is coming down for a retest. If you cross this to the downside and get back below this last high, that's not going to look good. Your RSI, it did get rejected from that bullish control zone. Now, you are trying to get below your signal line right now. So if you get some follow through and get back below this last low on that RSI, that's not going to look good either. That's going to play into the bullish bearish case. I mean, honestly, so if you do start coming down here, I mean, yeah, you have your 100 and your regression line, but honestly, you need some follow through right now, because if you do come down here, that negative momentum is going to start picking up quick, and you might just fall right through this. All right, I mean, you had four touches, but I'm just saying, it's already got up so much that falling that low, could just cascade it down through it. All right, so once again, you break 1390 to the upside. $15 is in the cards. You break this last low, I'd even say 1350. You break 1350, you're going to the regression line, in my opinion, probably with some bounces here. Could even get, I mean, that's if you break this. So if you break 1349 on a closure, then I think we go down there. But you could always get a wick down to one of these moving averages and then just pop back up. Now, if you break the regression line, I would expect to bounce at 1289 to 1269. But ultimately, if you fall back into that regression and hit these lows again, that's not going to look good at all. I would expect to bounce at 1184. 1116 and $10. But by that time, we're going to be back and bringing you more content, and we'll keep you up to date. By the way, if you guys are liking this video so far, like and subscribe to the channel. Check out the links in the description below, one being the Discord. A lot of good conversation about crypto trading, investing, markets as a whole. Also, turn on those bell notifications so you get notified with this time-sensitive content. DXY has plummeted on the 15-minute. All right, let's go to the 4 hour. On the 4 hour, it's plummeted as well. So you basically you try to get above that 200. I mean, you've been in basically just curling right curling right down this whole time. Now, you are starting to lose your downside curvature. I do want to say that. Basically, for risk asset's sake, you want to get back below 103.44. You want to break that low. All right, now, if it gets back above 107, well, I'd even say its previous high. Yeah, if it gets back above 105.68, that's not going to have a positive effect for risk assets. And then I would expect it to work its way up to maybe 107.22 or 107.98. That would probably mean that Bitcoin's, if this thing does get a bounce back to one of those levels, I think Bitcoin would break the bottom of the range and go down to 16,800. All right. And like I said, if we do break down, that's going to have a positive effect for risk assets. Bitcoin will probably go to 18K. Okay, so that's about it for me today. Let's quickly check the stock market and see what's happening. So lower highs, well, we could be making a higher low right now. Did make one higher low, we got another higher low. Yeah, I mean, we could be turning this trend around at the moment right now. So basically, if you can get back above 4107 for the S&P, I would expect you to come up to 4328. And then we'll come back to it. Bearish case is that you break basically this last low right here at 3 grand. If you break 3 grand, I would expect a bounce at 35.70, but ultimately I think we would be in trouble. I mean, and you'd probably be coming down to 32.20. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Let's go to the NASDAQ real quick. The NASDAQ got our bounce off the line in the sand like we were talking about. Finding some resistance on our next line. We've had this mapped out for like 2 years. These lines, all this still being respected, is support and resistance. So basically you need to get back above this 50 at 11,169. You need to get back above there, start working your way up through these moving averages, through these lines of resistance. Every single line, every single moving average is going to act as resistance. If you can break 1205, 12060, I think you could get back into this purple zone at 1350, 13350, somewhere in this purple zone, which will also have a positive effect for Bitcoin as well, because if you can break this level, that means you broke this regression line as well. That's going to look really good. That's the mega bullish case, though. Bearish case is that you break 107.03 on a 4-hour closure. I would like to see it. Well, yeah, we did it once. We gapped down, but we came right back up. All right. I'm trying to see follow through past this last low, even at 104.49. All right. Now that we have that, I'm not going to move the line down because this is the line, but I'm saying we need to see follow through even past this last low on a few consecutive 4-hour closures. All right. Once again, if you guys like this video, like and subscribe, turn on the bell notifications. I wish everyone well, and I will see you tomorrow.